we are going to get started. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Alrighty. Thanks, Jess.
Got you.
All right. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Hi. I was about to say hi, Jessica. Hey, Sherry. Hi, Erica. Hi, everyone. All right, we're going to get started with our webinar tonight. I just wanted to say, first of all, the fact that you are here on a Friday evening slash Friday night says a lot about your dedication to education, and I am here for it. I love it. All right, so tonight our webinar is going to be on, well, we have a title and we have a subtitle. We went all out for this tonight. So it's called The Sweet Balance, Managing Blood Sugar During the Holidays. I think this is right on time because we're about to
Oh, you good.
dive in,
Let me see how
dive
to
in. So we're about, I'm just going to pause to ask if you could mute your mics, please, so that we can get through all your questions and we can take some more questions towards the end. All right, so the webinar we're doing tonight is called Sweet Balance, Managing Your Blood Sugar During the Holidays. I was mentioning it is the perfect time because we're about to dive headway, just chuck off into some Christmas food next week. So we want to know how we're going to manage the blood sugar here so that our energy does not do this and this and this and this. We're going to talk about it all. Before we go any further, I want to introduce myself. I am Anna Palomino. I'm the head of marketing of Black Girl Vitamins, and I will also be hosting a webinar tonight. Tonight, I want to say I'm also your accountability buddy. I'm here to make sure your sugar doesn't do this for the holiday season. I'm about to be like, hey girl, like here are some things that you need to know so that we're not crashing at a Christmas table. So let's, without any further ado, we're gonna jump into it. Actually, more ado. I want you guys to tell me in the chat, where are you joining us from? I want you to tell us in the chat your city, your country. Blow up the chat with your location right now. Blow it up so that I can know that I am not here alone. Me, Dr. Stanamera, Jess, we're not here alone. All right, we have Florida, Atlanta, ATL in the house, Brooklyn. Okay, okay. More Atlanta, more New York, more DC. What? Okay, Louisiana. I see you. I was just in Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi. All right. I love it. I love it. Okay. Love it. Yes. Oh my gosh, your energy. I feel your energy and I feel your warmth, and it is powering me through the screen. So let's keep it going. All right. So as I was explaining, tonight we have another webinar, which means that we have these webinars quite frequently. Right now, we have it once per month, but we are going to give you more webinars. We're going to scale it up so that you can get even more information. We have our webinars with our medical advisors because our mission at Black Girl Vitamins is to empower Black women through education and resources to help improve our health outcomes in our community. This is just one way we try to achieve this mission. It's more than just vitamins to us. It's about empowerment. So we put on webinars at 6 p.m. EST on a Friday afternoon to talk about medical education. So I know what you're thinking. You're thinking it's Christmas time, Anna, just let me live, let me eat my we don't eat turkey at Christmas time. No. Okay. We're gonna eat our ham or macaroni and cheese and all of these things. Can I just live? The cookies are calling, the eggnog is flowing, the sweet potato pie, chef's kiss, right? But we have to find the sweet balance. I hope you see what I did there, pun intended. So you can all enjoy it. Without feeling like you're in a coma by January 1st. And then I'm going to see on social media saying, New Year, new me, after I just woke up from my Christmas feast. We're going to fix it. Luckily for you, tonight we have Dr. Bryanne Standifer-Barrett. She is our medical advisor, one of our medical advisors at Black Girl Vitamins. I always say she is a superstar. Sometimes I just feel like to solve any medical problem ever in life, we need to figure a way to get all the information from Dr. Bryanne's brain, Dr. Stan's brain, and just get it, I don't know, make another chat GPT from Dr. Stan's brain. And we all are gonna have the information. She is brilliant and she's with us tonight. So I'm going to hand over to her for her to, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit, Dr. Stan. I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself. And I want you, if, well, I know you can, if you can tell us what your favorite part of our mission at Black Girl Vitamins is, what did I say? Your favorite part? Yeah, your favorite part of our mission at BGV.
Yes, this is a great question. So I'm Dr. Stan, everybody. I'm a board certified internal medicine physician. I'm also a clinical professor at the College of Human Medicine, MSU. I love all things education. And the fact that here at Black Girl Vitamins, we're taking the time on a Friday, 5 days before the holiday starts, to talk about health. Where'd I do that at? Like tell me, like they have me coming on to tell everybody about all the things I wish everybody already knew. So this is why I love Black Girl Vitamins forever.
I love that. Where to do that at? I
Where do
love it.
that at? I'm just saying.
I love it. Thank you so much, Dr. Stan. I'm right there with you. I love how passionate you are about our mission. Always, it always comes through. Love it. So yes, Dr. Stan's Instagram was just dropped in the chat by Amira. Thanks, Amira. So you can check her out for some useful content as well. We're gonna get straight into it. I promise. I just have one more thing to say, and it is that I'm asking if you can drop a fire emoji in the chat because you know we can't get started without the fire emoji. Is this your first time in this webinar? Because if not, if it's not your first time, you already know we do fire emojis here. Drop it, light it up, light it up, light it up. I want it to be a blaze. Oh, it's your first time? Okay, so in our webinars, we drop a lot of fire emojis. Yeah. So just drop your fire emojis. The more fire emojis I see, the faster I'll get started. Get started.
Yes.
Yay. Love it, love it, love it. All right. So we're gonna jump into the very first question. We're gonna start with the basics, which I want to understand. Don't have to get into a very science background, the background information of it all. Uh, but I want to understand what is blood sugar. I want to understand why is it important for overall health. I want to know because I know blood sugar is an important and big deal, but it's not everybody's experience, or experience is not the same. So I want to know what makes it particularly unique for Black women.
Yeah, so just basic blood sugar is one of the macronutrients that we need. It's one of the vital components that really supply all of our body cells to work, essentially. Like the brain needs sugar to work. Every single body or organ in your body needs sugar to work. The thing about Black ladies, though, y'all, is that we have higher cortisol levels. A lot of people are still trying to understand why our cortisol levels tend to be high, but cortisol is a hormone that the body makes. It's a stress hormone. So when you have high stress hormones, that affects the blood sugar. So unfortunately, in a lot of Black women, that high stress, high cortisol is causing our blood sugars to go up just naturally without even eating anything, without any extra activity.
Oh, wow. I think I have an idea as to what's happening. You know how Black women, we are, I like to say we're the bee's knees, we fix it all. But that can be a problem because we are trying to fix it all. It leads to stress, and then the stress leads to an increase in the cortisol levels, which you said increases the blood sugar, right?
Exactly. You got it. Yep.
All right. So the homework for tonight is we need to not try to fix everything. I feel like that's the solution, right? How do you feel
Oh,
about
yeah.
that, Stan?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We do. We do too much and it comes from a good place, right? It's not coming from a bad place, but we do too much. We people rely on us too much and I find that we are like these rubber bands that are being stretched, and we're not being stretched back.
I don't know why it feels so guilty to some of us to just take some time and, make it me time. It's something that I am myself just recently learning that it is okay to take time for myself, take a break from taking care of everyone, and everything around me. But it's good to know that, I'm not alone. It is a thing that happens in our community, and I'm happy that we're talking about it now.
Yeah.
So based on what you just said, it was a very important point that you made, especially for us. So now I want to talk about numbers. I want to understand what is normal. I want to know, am I on track or is something off? Can you break down the normal blood sugar ranges for us and how they change throughout the day?
Definitely. So normal blood sugar for a normal non-diabetic person would be between 60 and 100. So that's the normal blood sugar level. But the thing about blood sugar too, some people feel different with different sugar levels. So it's very individualized. So some people might have a blood sugar of 60 and they might feel dizzy, they might feel weak with that. And then some people might feel the same way with the higher blood sugar. So it definitely depends on your body, definitely what you're doing throughout the day. Interestingly enough, here's a funny story here. blood sugar throughout the day. I had a patient tracking her sugar for me when we found out some of her diagnoses. And we were tracking her sugar throughout her day, and her work is so stressful. I'm talking so stressful. She's one of those people that works in HR. Everybody's always calling her, needing her. She is the fixer, right? She is this classic Black woman fixer in her job every day. And we noticed that when she was at her job, her blood sugar was much, much, much higher. I'm talking 150s, much higher than what it needed to be. And then when she was not working, it had normalized.
What? Okay, I'm genuinely this is genuinely interesting to me because I didn't know that there was such an immediate correlation between stress and your blood sugar level. This sounds as if I am stressed right now by this one situation, my blood sugar spikes. Is that what
It
happens?
can happen. And it also depends on how much time. So cortisol isn't bad. It's the part where cortisol stays high for too long. So more chronically. So we need the cortisol. Like if you're gonna go run a marathon, you need the cortisol to be up to do that, right? But I'm talking if you're just stressed out every single day, your cortisol is staying high, that's when we start to see the issues with the blood sugar. And
I
it's unfortunately most of us.
I think I can understand the routine of the average Black woman like myself. Essentially, you go to work, and it depends on your job too. If you have a very high stress job, so you're going through the day with your high stress job, then you go home. Maybe you have children, you have a spouse, you have pets, you have all of these things. So you're put under a lot of pressure to essentially take care of your family, and then you go to sleep, wake up, go back to the high stress job. So the cortisol level stays high. But Donna in the chat said something very interesting and very useful that I don't think we talk about enough is that it is completely okay to say no. I want us to leave this webinar tonight understanding that this is not just about the fact that, oh, I am stressed and I just need to sleep. It is your blood sugar that is at stake. So if you feel like you are taking on too much and you feel it affecting your entire being, it is okay to say no. And no is a very complete statement. It is very complete. You don't need explanations. And if you do need an explanation, you can blame me. You can say, no, I can't do it because Anna from BGV said I can't do it. It's okay. I don't mind taking the blame, girl. It's fine. Just don't tell them my last name, so that they actually All
Listen,
right.
I do the same thing. I tell people, your job stressing you out. Tell them Dr. Standifer said you can't do this anymore. Simple.
I love that. I prefer that one. Say Dr. Stan, the doctor.
Blame it on me. Happy to take the blame.
I'm gonna go in and be like, oh, so I can't do this because Dr. Stan said no. Sorry. All right. So you said our normal range is 60 if memory serves, or it's around that point. Just a quick question. Is there any way we can have an idea of where our blood sugar is at? I know we have to get it tested via blood, but is there like a certain, any cheat codes we can employ to know where our blood sugar level is?
So I'm so, so, so happy you asked this question. So in the diabetes world right now, there's been these new systems called continuous glucose monitors, and you wear them on your arm or on your stomach. And those are going to be a lot different. I think somebody's not muted.
Please mute. Please keep your mics muted. Thank you. Go
Awesome.
ahead.
Awesome. Yep. So, like you were saying, we have to check the blood sugar to know exactly what the numbers are. So, like for a long time, we were using what's called a glucometer, where you actually poke your finger, you get a blood test, you get the blood that comes out, and we check it on a machine, and it tells you right there what the blood sugar is. So that hurts, right? Poking your finger a couple times a day, that hurts. So what we have now on the market are continuous glucose monitors, and there's a ton of different brands out there. They first came out to help diabetics not have to poke their finger as much, but now you can get them without a prescription online, and just so people can know. And interestingly, what I did, I wore one because I was curious, right? As a doctor, you come into the office, you might say, "Hey, Dr. Standifer, what do I need to eat to keep my blood sugar under better control?" Interestingly enough, we have this very generic statement of try to keep your sugar down, try to reduce your carb intake. Like that's your generic statement that we made. But interestingly enough, I actually wore one myself for 12 days, and I let myself eat different things to see how my blood sugar changed. The most important thing that I found is that there were times where I would tell people, hey, try to avoid things like pancakes, syrup, very generic things, right? So as I'm eating, I tried it on myself. I'm eating these pancakes one day and I'm taking my advice, okay, my blood sugar should spike up. It didn't. My blood sugar did not spike up. Then I
With
tried some cereal. It didn't. It did not spike up. It stayed between that 60 and 100 range. Then I tried some cereal. I love Apple Jacks. Don't judge me. So I tried a little bit of Apple Jacks. My sugar shot through the roof, y'all. I'm talking 150, 160. Same thing with Pepsi. I tried 7 ounces of Pepsi. Those 7 ounces of Pepsi ended up making my blood sugar shoot up to almost 200. So I say that to say nowadays, with personalized, individualized medicine, you can actually wear these monitors to just know where you stand because everybody's body is going to be affected by different things very, very differently. And it's something that us as doctors, we're taught to tell you the generic things that cause sugar changes, but what if certain things that affect my blood sugar don't affect your blood sugar? So knowing what that data is so, so important now. And we have the technology to do it. You
But
don't even need a prescription.
I'm just so curious. Did you figure out why you were able to eat pancakes, nothing happened, and then it's the syrup that caused it to shoot through the roof?
I think it's more or less my body's processing of it, right? Like I think it has a lot to do with my inherent cortisol levels that are already baseline or there. It has a lot to do with where I am physically, because we'll talk about that a little later about things to reverse. But there's like where I am in terms of my conditioning also affects my blood sugar levels too. So everybody's body kind of processes and breaks things down very, very differently. And I was very surprised because I was a doctor honestly telling people, try to reduce pancakes, try to reduce this, try to reduce that, when it looks so different for everybody. I had my husband wear one, eat the same pancakes, his blood sugar shot up. So it's interesting how different everybody is.
Wow. Can you tell us what the name of the monitor is again?
Yes. So the generic name for them all, they're called continuous glucose monitors. You can put one in Google, and there's one by Stello, I think it's called now. You don't need a prescription for it. It's $99. You can wear it for 30 days. I think anybody who needs to know where they are should get one because no doctors aren't pushing this, right? Like we aren't telling people to go and see where you stand for your own sake because a lot of doctors don't know these variations. And the other part of it too that we'll get into a little bit more is that us being Black women, we use a test to check blood sugar, not just the sugar in the blood. We check that, but there's another one we also check called an A1C, and that tells us how well the body handles sugar. It's like looks at the red blood cell, and if the red blood cell has a lot of sugar on it, that's how we look at that value to see where you stand. But the thing with Black people is that our hemoglobin molecule, not to get too sciencey, but just so y'all get it, because y'all should know this. We're talking about it, you're here. Let me
Oh,
give it to
I
you. So,
agree.
yeah. So the hemoglobin molecule, which is a part of that red blood cell where I was telling you about the A1C, that gets folded very differently in Black people. That means that our red blood cells look different and carry sugar differently. So you can't always use that measurement in Black people because of our inherent genetic changes. And so that's why we use a couple different tools. If I do have somebody that I'm curious about, I'll say, hey, why don't you wear a continuous glucose monitor? Hey, have you checked your iron levels? Hey, how does your hemoglobin look? So there's a bunch of different things that we do before we just shotgun use one test.
Dr. Stan, something just like I just had an epiphany. I think I solved a medical mystery. When you're just talking, you're just explaining. No, hear me out. You said that.
Tell me, I'm excited.
And I didn't solve a medical mystery, I promise. Like, just pretend, okay? So, based on what you just explained, sugar operates differently in the bodies of Black people. And Black women in particular usually have more hormonal issues like PCOS, which is connected to blood sugar, no?
Yes,
Told
yes,
you, I just told
yes.
you, I solved it. I told you, I
Yeah,
told you.
you got it.
Well, so this is not PCOS webinar, so I'm happy that you all witnessed me solving a medical mystery. We're going to go back to blood, understanding blood sugar and blood sugar levels now. So we have the test. We have the name of the test that we need to take. But do you have any, like, can you tell us any signs and symptoms that we can look for high blood sugar or even low blood sugar levels, or
Yeah.
below the normal standard?
I'm happy to. So low blood sugar, most people start to feel dizzy, weak, nauseous, fatigue. you just feel weak. You don't have it all. In fact, they train police officers to look for these different signs because there's not a lot of difference between a drunk driver and a person with low blood sugar. Like they look the same, especially while driving. So they'll actually train these officers to realize this before they assume someone's just drunk, interestingly. So similarly with high blood sugar, kind of similar symptoms. Most people start peeing more. They become more thirsty when their blood sugar is high. They want to eat everything too. So those are some of the symptoms people have when their blood sugar is too high.
Wow, you can't just say that and skip over it. What do you mean that we have the same symptoms if we're drunk or we have high blood, was it low blood sugar?
Low blood sugar. So if you can imagine like a person in a drunken state or intoxicated with alcohol might be wobbly, they might be off, the room might feel like it's spinning, they might be vomiting, they might all those things. So that person can look very similar to a person with low blood sugar. They
So you
feel dizzy, they feel tired, they feel weak, they can't stand, they might pass out. So that's what I'm trying to say. It can look the same. So we focus a lot on the drunk driver thing, but hypoglycemia or low blood sugar can look very synonymous, especially when someone's operating a motor vehicle.
Wow, that blew my mind just now. Speaking of blowing my mind, is there any more information you can give us on the correlation between your mental clarity and your blood sugar level?
Definitely. So the brain, interestingly enough, can really only process sugar to give it what it needs to work. So
Mhm.
when the sugar is too high, everything is about fluid shifts in the brain. So when there's too much in the brain can't process it because it has to cross what's called the blood-brain barrier. So when there's too many things and too many shifts that are happening, fluid shifts, and that's where the brain fog and the wooziness and feeling off comes from.
I feel like we need to be talking more about this topic generally in the community because this sounds way more serious than I originally thought. It affects so many different parts of our bodies or brain, or you said we get dizzy, we can start vomiting, we have no energy. This is something that we need to be talking about more, and I'm happy that we're doing the webinar on it tonight. Okay. So basically, wow, it is wild how our blood sugar levels can affect how we feel day to day, like all of these symptoms coming to play all at once. But I want to talk more about feeling all over the place in terms of hormones. We were just talking about it when I saw the medical mystery that I am going to get awarded for. Put me in the book with the medical mystery people who solve, yeah. But
And
essentially,
next to House MD. I got you.
I know. I love it. I love it. I expect my plaque or trophy or whatever it is that we get. Love it. All right. So we know that our hormones generally can be their own roller coaster, but I want to understand, can hormonal changes like during our cycle or menopause, which is another big topic, can it also mess with our blood sugar levels?
Definitely. So definitely during menopause, during your menstrual cycles, it kind of varies because your estrogen never gets that low, but it can definitely depend on your body and kind of what you're bringing to the table. But in terms of menopause, which y'all know, I love menopause. In terms of menopause, which is the gradual loss of estrogen, which is a natural phenomenon, that loss of estrogen actually increases insulin resistance. So we can talk about insulin a little bit too. So glucose, which is what we were talking about, the blood sugar, we call sugar and glucose, they're kind of synonymous. So glucose, if you can imagine, drives in the car in the blood.
One second, Dr.
Every
Stein.
cell
One
in the
second.
body. Uh-oh.
Can we mute the microphones, please? Thank you. Go ahead, Dr. Stan.
Awesome. So we're talking blood sugar, glucose, and insulin levels. So glucose, if you can imagine, or blood sugar, drives in the bloodstream and it uses the bloodstream, if you can imagine it like a freeway. And so it has a bunch of exits where it goes to different cells or organs to give the body the sugar it needs to process so that those organs can do what they need to do for you to function. In order for that blood glucose to get into those organs, a door has to open for it to go inside, if you can imagine that. Insulin's job is to open that door for the blood sugar to then come inside for the organ or cell to actually function.
Mm.
What happens is when you have menopause, those estrogen changes causes insulin resistance, which means, back to the analogy, that door does not open as easily, which means sugar stays in the bloodstream longer, more of it, and it's not going inside the cells for the body to do what it needs to do. And that's what happens when we go through menopause. That's what happens when someone says you're insulin resistant. That's also what happens when people have PCOS. It's the same phenomenon where that sugar that the body so desperately needs cannot get inside the organ or cell.
Oh, wow. I just feel like for when it comes to menopause, the topic just it never ends. There's always something else that we need to add and we need to discuss. I think we probably need to do another menopause webinar because the information is just so much now it crosses over into our blood sugar information. So I'm just happy that we're talking about it. Uh, Amira, Amira, do you have
Oh yeah, a lot of the ladies want the specific glucose monitor that you had, so I just wanted to get that name so I could put it in the chat.
You got it. It's by Dexcom, and we have no relationship with them guys. This is just a monitor that you can get without a doctor. But it's a continuous glucose monitor by Dexcom, Dexcom, and the type is called Stelo, Stelo. You can Google it, you can get it online. You don't need insurance. It's $99, and you wear a little sensor in your arm, and the needle that goes in your arm is not really a needle. It's about the size of the thickness of a fake eyelash. You barely feel it go in your arm. You're
amazing?
welcome. Wear one, y'all, just to see where you stand, and then wear it, get the data, and go talk to your doctor about it.
Oh, Amira has it in the chat. Thanks, Amira. Okay. All right. So I think we understand the general workings of blood sugar levels, etc. I want to dive into the food now. I want to get into the food. I want to get into how we're going to make this work for us next week. That is what that's actually why I'm here. I want to learn this. So, can you please explain to us, are there any specific drinks or snacks that we can drink slash eat that can help to keep us steady, keep our blood sugar levels steady?
So I'm gonna be honest with you, not really. Drink some water, to be honest. There's not a whole lot of, you might get some things that market that says, hey, I can detoxify the liver, but that's not doing anything. I think the single most thing you can do that's going to be helpful when you eat this big meal is going to be to immediately get up and go walk for 20 minutes.
Oh,
Immediately get up and go walk. Make your entire family, you eat, you know, you're loving on each other, the food is good, blah, blah, blah. Everybody, okay, get up, let's go for a 20-minute walk. That is the single most important free thing you can do for yourself to lower your blood sugar.
and I think that would be such a beautiful task, a beautiful activity that we could do as a family. Go walking, probably you can share just things that you're grateful for, while you're doing your 15-minute walk, it will go right by. And I love the fact that this is a solution because it brings us into the next question that I have, which is, how can pre-diabetes be reversed or managed effectively? Because based on the explanation you gave to us earlier about how blood sugar levels interact with insulin levels, it sounds a lot like there is a correlation between the two, and it introduces the topic of diabetes. So I want to understand, when it comes to pre-diabetes, can it be reversed if we employ these methods that you've just listed, or can it be
Definitely.
managed effectively using these methods?
Definitely, definitely. So I'll speak. I was pre-diabetic. But here's the thing. Once you're labeled pre-diabetic, you never really leave that zone. So pre-diabetes is what we call impaired glucose tolerance, or it is when you have insulin resistance. We measure it. We again going back to that A1C, we measure it, your A1C, which is that sugar I was telling you about around the red blood cell, anywhere between 5.7 and I say about 6.3 is that pre-diabetic range. So in terms of reversing it, absolutely. Because all pre-diabetes is telling me is one of two things. One, you're stressed, because remember, stress will cause that sugar to go up and can make your levels look like a pre-diabetic range. the risk is still there, whether you're eating a bunch of pizza or just completely stressed out. The risk of developing diabetes is the same. It doesn't matter how you got there. So that's the most important thing there. The second thing is that some people genetically just are predisposed to having diabetes. So I like to think of, if you get a label of pre-diabetes, you should immediately consider yourself, I have an intolerance to sugar, or I have like an allergy to sugar. I need to control how much I'm eating. I must work out at least 30 minutes a day to get my levels reversed. That can be your treatment. So, and it kind of gives us a look in the mirror to say, hey, am I managing my stress? Am I working out enough? Am I choosing better foods to eat? So those are things that we look at. Control those things, get your numbers rechecked in 3 months and see where you stand. But once you've gotten a label in your life with pre-diabetes, that risk never goes away.
Wow, I understand that food has a large role to play when it comes to managing your blood sugar levels, but what I'm learning tonight is that stress actually plays a bigger role than we realized. And I just don't like that. I just don't like that at all. For me, I am Jamaican and we have a saying that I'll share it with you guys. We say, no stress to the dolly body. So, like a doll. So no
Yes.
stress to dolly bodies. I want everybody to put in the chat, no stress, no stress, no stress. And if you understand what I just said, drop that in the chat too. No stress to the dolly body. No stress, no stress, no stress. Because what? We can't be walking around here stressed and then our cortisol levels go through the roof and then you hear that we're pre-diabetic. This is not, oh, I love it. No stress to the dolly body, friends. Yes, I love it. Yes, no stress at all. Especially this holiday season, we're not doing that at all. But aside from going for a walk and managing our stress levels, I know some people are wondering about medications and supplements. So what are the best medications that we can take and supplements to manage our blood sugar levels?
Yes, so you can do things like turmeric is really good, ginger is good, lemon is good to help manage the blood sugar. I think truly eating whole foods. The other problem in the US, and you know how much we have to talk about this, Anna, is our food supply, right? Like our food is being full of, just chock full of preservatives, processed junk, and this is really what's causing a lot of what we're seeing in the office. I know a lot of docs will give metformin if a person is pre-diabetic, and the way metformin works is it actually goes to your liver and causes your liver to not make more glucose or more sugar, because your liver's job is to make sugar, like new sugar. And so this metformin helps to not have that happen. So depending on where you are in that spectrum, someone might offer you that as a medication to help with at least pre-diabetes. When you get into diabetes, that's a whole entire myriad of medications.
Wow. Okay, but you mentioned metformin. Do we have any supplements that we can look uh to help with
So,
managing blood sugar
you
level?
know, in our PCOS supplement, the Nisatol can actually help with the insulin resistance. But right now, that's the only thing that I've seen. So, like, for my people with PCOS, I try to get them on the PCOS relief to get that the insulin sensitivity go down a little bit.
Oh, gotcha, gotcha. So talking more about these supplements, I know something that people think about a lot is the sugar in some supplements. So I want to find out, can taking supplements that contain sugar affect our blood sugar levels?
Unless you're taking a crap ton of them, like more than what we recommend, it shouldn't. And that's the whole point too about going and seeing how everything affects your levels. So going and wearing that CGM or continuous glucose monitor to see if it truly affects. But the amount of sugar in a supplement is so low, it shouldn't cause a huge increase in it. So
Oh, wow, that's good news for me because the amount of vitamins that I take that I may or may not need because they taste so good. In fact, let me show you guys something. Let me show These are my these are my D3 vitamins. As you can see, done, gone. We're thinking about going to dinner and essentially it is, oh, I can't wait to dive into the ham and I can't wait to dive into the creamy mac and cheese and the buttery mashed potatoes. But I'm just like, can we take our vitamins now? Can we take our gummies now? Because they taste so good. And
they
to hear you
do.
just explain that, the sugar in the gummies, they're not gonna do anything to you really because of the limited quantity in the gummies. I love to hear that. So
Mhm.
what I want to find out now, we've covered the questions that we got that were submitted by our BGV community. So what I want to do is I want to go through this chat and answer some of the questions that people in the workshop had for Dr. Stan. I saw a few, but I want to say I love, love, love this webinar and attendees, because if you look through the comments, Dr. Stan, you realize that questions were asked and they were answered, asked, answered, asked, answered. I love
I
it.
love that.
Somebody asked, what does metformin really work? And if not, what should, I'm guessing what would work?
Yeah, so if we're talking metformin for pre-diabetes, again, you don't necessarily have to treat pre-diabetes with medication. Treatment is exercise, changing your diet. So 100%. But in terms of metformin working, it does work. It's a great medication. I use it for people all the time. It's cheap. It does come with side effects like the bloating, the gas, and that kind of thing. So that limits people from taking it. But it is a great medication.
Okay, I love that. Somebody said, honestly, I'm getting more information from you than my doctors. Thank you, Tara. I hope I
That's why
got
we
that.
do this.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love to see messages like this. It makes me so happy. It makes our entire team so happy. I see no stress to the Dolly body. I love it. I love it. This makes me so happy as well. So anytime we go out, guys, let's just get uniformed on this. When we go out and we're taking on something or somebody's trying to put something on us that we perceive is going to be stressful to us, what do we say? We say, no, thank you. No stress to the dolly body. I'm so sorry. It is okay. You can, for that, you can 100% blame me. Let them know that I said no stress to the dolly body, and I will take the blame for you. Any other questions for our doc here? I'm seeing, oh, I just saw a question. What natural sources help to maintain? Oh, good question. What natural sources help to maintain blood sugar?
Yeah, so again, like I was saying, turmeric, ginger is really good, lemon. There's some evidence about berberine, but here's the problem with some of these supplements. You have to understand this. You can't take certain things because, for example, some of these supplements have a lot of licorice root in them packaged. I've seen this with a couple patients. Licorice root can then affect the liver. So before you take anything, you want to read the label. But that's why I love BGV, because I know what I'm getting with my vitamins here. But all these other things, you just want to be careful because there's a lot of fillers, and we're seeing a lot of liver issues, liver damage from a lot of these things people are taking because someone on TikTok told them that they should. So just be careful with that.
Wow. Somebody on TikTok said we should. I love that you said that, because that's another reason why we have these webinars. It is very important to have like an actual doctor speak to us and give us actual medical information, though we should be checking with our doctors before we apply any medical information to our own lives and bodies. We have another question here. How can I change my diet in pre-diabetic state and being vegetarian, pescatarian?
I love that. So we actually, if you're a pescatarian, so I think it's simple. Lean meat, if you're a meat eater, and that's tofu included, and leafy green vegetables. I think if your diet is 99% that, and you exercise literally 30 minutes, and because there's the other part too. When we go back to our original statement about women, Black women just doing too much, being this big rubber band that's being stretched, people aren't taking care of themselves. They're not making time to work out, not because they don't want to. They just are doing too much for everybody in the world and they can't. So I don't want us to get away from those natural foundational things that we all should be doing. Strength training. A lot of women do cardio. Cardio is great for the heart. The heart likes it. But when it comes to really burning fat, which is going to help with those blood sugar levels, you have to strength train. You have to, and for at least 30 minutes a day. You also have to track your weights. If you've been doing 20-pound dumbbell squats for 2 weeks, it's time to take it up to 25 the next week. So we have to also put more effort in on ourselves as well. If the food comes from a window, don't eat it. It's not for you.
I love
Leafy
it.
greens, lean white meat, exercise. I promise. Do those three things to the best of your ability and then go from there.
I love it. We should have another webinar on that conversation that we were having about food and, what is clean, what is not, the surprising ingredients in normal food that we think to be normal, I should say. and how, we can talk more about your decaying process. That would be such an enlightening discussion. We can,
I'm ready.
Amira, Amira and Jess, maybe you can, maybe we can advocate for it, Dr. Stein, for another webinar on that topic, because I know you're super passionate about it as well.
Yes, for
Love to.
sure.
Yes.
Love it. Okay. I saw a question about eyesight. It was very, very interesting. I'm trying to locate the question. Oh, how is sugar affecting my eyesight?
Ooh, beautiful question. So again, the eyesight is the nerves that control eyesight are from the brain. So when there's too much sugar, it affects the lens of the eye, which can affect vision. And diabetes is one of the leading causes of blindness, of kidney disease, of heart disease. It makes the blood vessels very, very sticky, and that also affects the nerves and the vasculature of the eyes.
Oh,
So some
wow.
people might have blurry vision too when they're sugar. So I forgot to mention that. Thank you.
Wow. If so, again, just reiterating the point I made earlier, we need to be talking more about blood sugar and, blood sugar levels, because it seems as if this affects literally almost every part and every organ of our bodies. I think this is a very important conversation to be had. Maybe we need to have another webinar on the topic, but I love the questions that we're getting. They're very enlightening, or the answers to them are very
I want to
enlightening.
say one more thing too, especially because someone just popped up with a question for neuropathy. The other thing too, if you are diabetic, please be careful where you go to get your pedicures. I know that there's a lot of different places people go to by a certain demographic, and I have seen so much foot fungus, so much issues. And so when you're diabetic, the feet, they become very, very like your most important asset because the blood flow changes there, the diabetic things. And so when we get these pedicures, because we do, I'm seeing so much foot fungus and so much foot disease just from that. So just be careful with that.
Oh, wow. Okay. Very interesting. We have another question. Should I be worried about blood sugar in my teenagers?
Everybody, yes, you should know where everybody's blood sugar stands, especially if there's a family history. If a mother or father or a first or a grandparent has diabetes, that can sometimes lend a genetic risk to the next generation. Again, I think teaching our kids how to eat early. I see so many people too. We'll have this conversation, right? And all the ladies are going to listen to us. They're going to decrease their stress. They're going to eat lean white meat, leafy green vegetables, but they're going to continue to feed their kids the trash. They're going to continue to go to McDonald's for their kids. So I think when you make a concerted change in your household for food, make it for everybody.
Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, and that can be a very fun activity too, something that we can bond over. So that would be something that we can do for this holiday season. I saw a question. Can you speak on Ozempic? I think Christine really wants the answer to this question. We had a webinar, an entire webinar on this topic on Ozempic, but Dr. Stan, can you tell us in 1 minute what we discussed in our 60-minute webinar? Can we
Absolutely.
mute, please? Thank you.
Awesome. Yes. So, Ozempic is what we call a GLP-1 receptor agonist or semaglutide. And the way it works is when everybody eats, this is 1 minute, everybody eats, your stomach stretches, a hormone called GLP-1 gets released, goes to the brain, tells your brain that you're full, goes to your gut, tells your gut that you are, slow digestion. Ozempic, Mounjaro, Wegovy, all those meds work on that pathway. So people don't really think about food as much. Your digestion is slowed, and that's how the medication works to lower blood sugar.
Okay, so I hope Christine, oh no, you didn't miss it. She just answered. I hope you understand a little bit more based on the answer that Dr. Stan just gave. Somebody said yes or no. Tell me yes or no. I do believe I have fungus. Is it probably from my sweet intake? Yes or no, Dr. Stan?
It definitely could be. Could be from that, pedicures, and honestly, shellac y'all on y'all toes. Y'all not gonna like that, but it's true.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. All right. So I think we've gotten through all of the questions. I just want to do a quick scan to make sure we have gotten through all of the questions. Oh, there's another one. What about apple cider vinegar? I believe Dr. Stan talked about it earlier, but Dr. Stan, can you tell us what about apple cider
Yep.
vinegar?
So that's another one that's shown to also naturally lower some blood sugar. The studies are variable though, so that's why I didn't just outwardly bring it up. But there are some people who do benefit from that.
Okay, awesome. So I think we've gotten through all the questions now. And before we continue, I want to just ask everybody to tell us in the chat, please, this is very important to us. Tell us in the chat, can you list one or two things that you're grateful for in 2024? Aside from our webinars at BGV, because we know you're thankful for them, right? Right? Because I mean, it's 7 p.m. on a Friday night. So please, I hope you're grateful for it. But can you list two things for which you're grateful from 2024? You can just drop two words. You don't have to tell us all of your business, girl. We got it. Just tell us two words that you're grateful for in the chat. I can start. Oh, clarity. I wish I could
Love
hug up that
that.
word. I love that. Family and job, family and health, family. Wow. Yes, God's grace. That's another thing that I'm also grateful for. Losing 25 pounds. Good job,
Good
Sheila.
job.
I love that for you. Life and family, love and grace, family and love, knowledge. Wow, that's another thing I'm big on. I love that you are grateful for that. Family, love, health, Black women empowerment. Yes, RSW, thank you. I appreciate that. Family and faith. I love that I'm seeing so many people say family, knowledge, discernment, self-comp. Ooh, the Karen dropped the word for the day, self-compassion. That is it, self-compassion. I love it. This is beautiful. Oh, look at all the answers come through. This is so beautiful. I love this for us. I love that we've taken the time to do a reflection, given that the year is coming to an end any moment now. So discovering Black girl vitamins and family. The
Good.
fact that you said that, oh my goodness. Guys, let me screenshot. Oh, it's gone. Crap. I was gonna screenshot it and carry it back to our entire team. We always geek out whenever we hear things like this. We love the fact that, our community understands that we actually care about our mission and care about our community. So we love that you're seeing it. My job and the realization that this current job is stressful. 2025 is bringing change. Girl, remember what I said to you. Remember what I said. So when you go into your job, you said it's stressful. If they're putting more things on your plate, what do you say? Daphne, what do you say? No stress to the dolly body. Remember, no stress to the dolly body. That's what we're looking for. All right. So the next thing I wanted to talk about really quickly, I have a surprise for you all. I have a surprise. Every webinar we have a surprise, and it is going to be about the fact that, hey, first of all, I'm sure you're familiar with our products because you are here, but I just want to say if I could talk about one product here tonight, it would be our D3 product or D3. Listen, 82% of Black women are deficient in vitamin D, right? And we have our vitamin D3 here. It is on your screen. Right. I was just about to say one of the things that we look to D3 for. Oh, Amiri, you know what I just realized? The fact that I'm bouncing off walls. Look, my thing is empty. It is empty. It's probably
See?
because my thing is
That's
empty.
why.
If
Oh my,
you
did y'all see that? Somebody's vitamin D3 is 13. Oh my goodness. This is the reality. Most of us are running around here low with vitamin D.
I wonder if did you just get tested, Davona? Did you just get your test done? Ooh,
Yes. Oh, girl. Get
thought.
those levels up and watch how much better you feel. I promise. I promise.
The good thing about it is that our D3 has 2000 IU. So if you take, well, this is not medical advice. You should listen to your doctor, whatever your doctor says. You can take your D3 based on the dosage that the doctor tells you, but ours have 2000 IU. So that's pretty good, right?
That's
Or
excellent.
oh, I have a good question here. What is a good D3 level, Dr. Stan?
So I personally like my people to be at 50. There's a lot of evidence that having it that at that high can cause reduction in what we call seasonal affective disorder. So being in the house all day long, getting dark at 4 o'clock, where I am right now, definitely helps with our limited access to the sunlight.
Plus the fact that or skin or the melanin in our skin.
Melanin in our skin. We have to stand outside like 4 times longer than someone else who's not brown to get the same level of vitamin D.
And I feel like a lot of people don't know that as well, right? I see all the time,
Oh,
why are you taking vitamin D? You should go stand in the sun. Well, we you know, we have melanin. We
We
would
have
have to be
melanin,
our
and most
bright
of us are
younger.
working a bunch of jobs and trying to be here and there for everybody.
Oh boy. Well, there you have it, folks. Your vitamin D level, vitamin D level should be, or I mean, a rate of 50 would be a good
30 to
uh
50.
30 to that's what I was looking for. 30 to 50 is a good range. If you're looking to take our vitamin D, as you can see on your screen, or vitamin D can help to boost your immune system. It can help to improve your overall mood. By the way, if you go on our Instagram, you can follow our Instagram at Black Girl Vitamins to see a lot of educational graphics. If you are interested in education of it, you can follow our Instagram to get more information. We just put out a post explaining the correlation between anxiety and low vitamin D levels. So if you want to see the breakdown of the information on that, that is on our Instagram at Black Girl Vitamins. You can also take our vitamin D if you're looking to strengthen your bones and muscles, especially for or family members who are 40 plus, 45 plus, you are looking to strengthen your bones and muscles, you're looking at our vitamin D3. And last but not least, if you're looking to boost your energy levels, we are looking at your vitamin D. And you know, it's not no scam, because look, I finished all of mine and I'm bouncing off walls. It's 7 p.m. EST right now, and I'm bouncing off walls. If I could do a cartwheel right now in front of you, I would. That's how much energy I have. So get your vitamin D. And guess what? I have a surprise for you. If you do want our vitamin D3, just because you attended our webinar, just because you showed up on a Friday at 7 p.m. EST, only because you showed up, we are going to give you 25% off. You see it on the screen, 20% off. We're going to give you 20% off on, you know what? If you just use the code Sweet Holiday, you get 20% off on your order. Go to our website. When you're checking out, put in Sweet Holiday, and it's going to take 20% off of your order. Try our vitamin D3. I'm telling you guys, I'm not telling you just because I work here. I'm telling you because I actually take the vitamin. My family takes the vitamin. My mom used to tell me, knock on my head and be like, "You're so obsessed." As I said, she's Jamaican. "You're so obsessed with the vitamins." And then I gave her some, and now she's like, "When you're going to the warehouse, when you're going back to the warehouse, bring back some for me now." So
Yes.
you want to
And then
go take
here's
your
the other thing too. Somebody mentioned the question about liver disease and vitamin D. So vitamin D supplementation should not cause any liver disease, guys. You should, but again, you want to make sure you're getting your levels checked by your doctor. And make sure you eat this vitamin with food. It's a fast soluble vitamin. You need to take it to digest with food. And it also needs some time to work. So don't just take three supplements or just one bottle and expect, especially if you're very, very low, to feel like Anna. It's not gonna happen. It's gonna take some time to get into your system, especially when you're low, like most of us are.
You know what I could say is that you're looking at three to 4 months before you see any sort, well, not any sort, you're gonna see some sort of change, but for you to get, the benefit of it all, you need to take your vitamins for at least 3 to 4 months to be able to see it. So guess what you can do? You can order, or Jamaican in the building, love it. You can order your 3 month supply at our site. Remember to apply the code Sweet Holiday to get 20% off, and you're gonna see some results. So that is all we have for you today. Thank you so much for coming to our webinar tonight. Oh, subscribe. Yes, subscribe. TJ, thank you so much for telling us this. Yes, subscribe. You know what will happen when you subscribe? You don't even have to think about it, honey. Subscribe and it'll just show up. And if you're taking your vitamins as you should, the vitamins, your next supply of vitamins will show up right when you're finished with the last supply. So that is how you know you're on top of taking your vitamins, is if when the next batch comes, you're finished with the first batch. That is what we have for you today, guys. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you so much for attending our webinar. We always love doing these things. Thank you, Dr. Stan, for dropping these gems tonight. I don't know about you guys, but I feel ready to take on the holidays with all the sweet treats and all the mac and cheese. All the what's the other one? Mashed potatoes and ham and all of these things. I feel equipped, and I hope you guys feel equipped as well. Before we sign off, guys, please, I'm asking if you can follow our Instagram and or other platforms or TikTok. We're on X/Twitter. We're on Facebook. Follow us because we put out this kind of information almost every single day, for sure, every single week. So follow all of our platforms. That's all we have for you tonight. Thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend and enjoy your holidays. Bye.
Bye.